Well, it's a very big weekend in the world of sport, and again, Midwest Radio, we have a lot happening from Mayo Junior Football, of course, the opening round in A, B and C. We'll talk about that later on in this. But firstly, Cormac, we're going to talk about the All-Ireland soccer final, of course, Mayo up against Cork in the under-18s. It's going to be a huge one.
Yeah, absolutely massive. I know last Sunday you did a piece with the management team here in the studio. It's a huge game, and it's great to see the Mayo League have moved all the Premier Division and Super League games to 11 a.m. on Sunday for those games that are on Sunday, so everyone can get out and support them. All-Ireland final in Milebush, for these young players, it's one of the biggest days of their careers. Last time Mayo were in the final was 1989. That's massive. For a county like Mayo, has such a tradition, and as the boys mentioned, the amount of players who have gone on to represent National League teams, etc. It's great to be back in the final for Mayo. And just that podcast of that interview with the Mayo management team is now up on our website and also on Twitter, and it'll be on Facebook later, so you can listen back to that. But a huge game for Mayo, and fingers crossed. Today can be a bit like this. We're outside today. It's not often we get out, but if the weather's anywhere like this, they're up against a very formidable Cork Youth League. They're always very strong, but Mayo have overcome two Munster teams already on the way to the final, so look at fingers crossed and hope they can have a big crowd as well on the day. Absolutely.
Regular updates on Midwest Sport on that one. Also a huge day on Saturday for Ballina in the rugby, of course, up against Instonians. They're so close now to getting promotion.
Yeah, we actually, coming up just in a couple of seconds time, we have an interview I did with Mod Communications. Michael Gallagher, he's PRO of Ballina Rugby, after their win against Bandon. That was a huge win. It was the first time Ballina have ever won in the AIL playoffs, and that will give them great confidence going into this game against Estonians. And we can hear more from Michael now. So Michael, another famous day for Ballina Rugby. It's been a few of them in the last few weeks, but a massive win over Bandon in Heffernan Park today.
Yeah, I think it was probably our most important win of the year. I know we've won the Cawley Cup and the league and the Connacht Junior Cup, but we wanted to step up and try our hand against the national standard. And the Munster champions came here today, Bandon, really fine team, and we came away with a 45-26 win. So it was an excellent day for us.
Yeah, Bandon came back at you in the game, despite another excellent start for Ballina. You seem to have those regularly, but Bandon came back in, and you must be delighted with how the team performed in the closing stages.
Yeah, we're delighted. We're delighted with our resilience today. We're very flashy going forward and score lots of tries, but our resilience when Bandon came back, and they came back twice to 5 points, and Ballina pushed on again and finished with one of the tries of a generation. Daniel Malloy in the corner, he carried half of Munster over on his back, and it was like Jerry McLaughlin and Twickenham years ago, back in 1985 I think, and it's said that Ballina learned a lot today. We've never won a game at this level previously. Now we go to Instonians in Belfast next, and then we go to Ashburn following that. So it's a great start. We couldn't do any more. We've won, we've got the bonus point, and we're driving on. And one of the things on behalf of the club, the turnout here in Heffernan Park today was just absolutely something we've never seen before. We had people from all over the region and all over Mayo and Sligo here today, and people that may have not seen rugby before, but they had one hell of a game to watch today. 66 points, tries everywhere, and a great advertisement for rugby here in Ballina.
Well, that's Michael Gallagher there, Cormac, talking all about the massive day it is for Ballina Rugby against Instonians. From there to the Lidl Ladies National Football League Division 1 semi-finals, Galway and Mayo both in action. They're not playing against each other though. Mayo, of course, with a huge game against Cork and Birr, a repeat of last year.
Yeah, there's as you said, Galway against Dublin, Mayo against Cork. Mayo and Cork, there's such a great history between the two sides. Funny enough, since 2004, Mayo have won 2 National League titles, 2004 and 2006. They were beaten in the 2016 final. Only Monaghan have won other than Cork since then. Cork have won 11 out of the last 14 titles or something. They're going for, I think, 6 in a row this year. So, what Cork Ladies Football have done in All-Ireland is one thing, but they've done that also in the National League, which is something else entirely, because I think that indicates just how good they are, the strength of that team to continuously do it both in Championship and in League. They're not going to go down without a fight. They've beaten Mayo already this year by a point. They will be looking for revenge though after last year's All-Ireland semi-final defeat. Mayo dethroned the best team in Ireland over the last decade or so. They'll be keen to get back to a final. It's going to be a very, very interesting game because there was only a point in it, as you said, down in Mallow when they played each other in the group stages. Cork are just talent throughout the field. They are evolving into a new team, much like Mayo, but they still have Orla Finn, Darren O'Sullivan, Ciara O'Sullivan. There's some brilliant players throughout that Cork side, and it's a young, exciting side. No more than Mayo, who have a kind of a new side coming through. You see the likes of Emma Loader there in centre back, named to start this weekend. Darren Hughes on one side. They're just a really exciting side, and obviously we all know Cora's back in the county, in the country since her AFL stint, but this side has grown in her absence. Obviously you couldn't deny the talent of Cora, but it's great to see the other girls taking a step forward. Sarah Rowe is a real leader now. The two Kellys either side of her. Sinead Cafferty, we've talked about her before, is probably the find of the league for Mayo. An established player previously, but she's back in with the setup now, so that's going to be an absolutely cracking game.
Young goalkeeper in there as well, Circa Murphy. All these young players to get to a last four of a league, it's massive for them going forward. Yeah,
Circa came in against Donegal. A couple of injuries there, and she's been excellent since. Cork were defeated, only beaten twice in the league so far. One of those was by Donegal. Mayo have come good in the last few weeks. They're starting to hit their score and stride as well. They were patchy enough going forward up to perhaps the Kerry game, the Donegal game, but they're starting to find the back of the net now, and that's going to be a key factor on Sunday, I suppose, keeping them out at one end and find the back of the net at the other. But it promises to be a cracking game.
Absolutely. 3 o'clock start in Birr. We'll have regular updates with Mark Higgins of the Western People on that one. It's also the start of the Mayo Junior A, B and C Football Championship as well. Just a look at the Junior Championship A first of all. Group 1, only one game going ahead this weekend. Achill and Kilmove Shamrocks. Ballycastle and Arda isn't going ahead because Shane Healy, one of the main men for Ballycastle, getting married this weekend as well, so that is as good a reason as any to postpone a game, that is for sure. But that group in particular is an interesting one. Achill, of course, well, they'll fancy their chances. They're a team that predominantly get to the knockout stages every year in the junior stakes, up against a tough enough Kilmove Shamrock side who are going well, playing Division 4 football and are improving steadily over the years.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Kilmove is that, as you said, they're up now to A. They won the Junior B, which was the first adult title in a number of years for them. Interesting enough, they have a B team now as well, and I know they recently played Bunnyconlin in the first round of the Division 6, and they had a number of subs, which is brilliant to see. That it might be a small thing, but the fact that Kilmove are producing the numbers and players want to play and players are getting involved again. They're coming up against a very, very good side in Achill, a side that went very close last year, are always a very tough side to play against, and they can find a win out of anywhere. I think Achill will fancy their chances this year. It's a very tough start for Kilmove, but it promises to be
exciting group.
Yeah, definitely, because
Ballycastle, Arda, hard to call as well who's going to come out on that. Ballycastle missing Micheál Ford this season as well is going to be a huge loss for Ballycastle. They're hoping maybe perhaps that at some stage he might come back from his travels and will be a huge addition to Ballycastle. But as it is, it's going to be a tough campaign for Ballycastle without Micheál Ford. It'll be interesting to see how Junior A Group 1 fares out. Group 2, Killala, Crossmine and Deal Rovers. They're playing Saturday evening at 5, and then it's Kilmaine and Ballintubber on Sunday at 2. Really, it's hard to look past Kilmaine from top of this group.
No, it certainly is very, very hard to see past that. Killala, they've gone backwards in recent years, and through no fault of their own. A lot of injuries, a lot of retirements. It's going to be tough for them. They were thereabouts for a long number of years, but it's just taking its toll at the minute. And they're looking for the new players to come through. As I said, though, Kilmaine are really the side that you'll be looking for in that group. Crossmine, always talent there, young good players coming through as well.
Ballintubber B, hard to write them off.
Look, that's a club that probably hasn't we haven't seen an awful lot of at junior level because they've been putting in so much at senior, but they're never going to be easy to beat, and there's a nice young cohort of players coming through there as well, so it should we might see something special from them this year.
Group 3, it's a group of death, some may say. 3 very evenly matched sides. You have Tourmakeady, Kilcommon, Ballycroy and Kilmena all in that. I mean, Kilcommon, Tourmakeady and Kilmena, with all due respect to Ballycroy, it's a kind of a 3-horse race. Now Ballycroy, are a team, in fairness, have improved an awful lot over the years. Ran Kilcommon close last weekend at the Comortas Pell, just to 4 points. Tourmakeady suffered a heavy defeat to Achill in that Comortas Pell, but really some may say you may take that as a pinch of salt because it was a young, inexperienced side. At the end of the day, Tourmakeady were playing intermediate football last season, so they'll certainly be, fancy their chances of coming out of that group.
Yeah, Tourmakeady, they really, a couple of years ago, they looked to be on the way out, and next thing they bounced back in the relegation playoff. They ended up going down last year, but that tends to sometimes galvanise teams. Now, on the other hand, junior is such a hard division to get out of, and
Ardnaree will tell you that for years, knock on the door. Even Bal, Kilmaine, when teams come down and they're fancy to go straight back up again, they'll find that it's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, it certainly is, and some of the sides you look at then when they come out, the likes of Lahardon, Lewisburg, you're going like they're Ardnaree. They're just the Neil. They fit in so well into the intermediate championship, and it shows you the calibre coming out of junior. Yeah. So Tourmakeady will be wary of that. I mean, they obviously are a strong side and have been junior Division 3, for a long time. Intermediate and playing in Division 3. The first game will tell a lot.
They've Kilmena, it's a tough one starting off. Kilcommon, of course, as well. Another side that will, fancy their chances in terms of going well. John Kelly, of course, former Lewisburg manager, down there now as well. So it'll be interesting to see who's
putting you through your paces.
He
there.
Is indeed.
There's plenty of training going on. So.
I've heard. So it'll be interesting to see how that group pans out as well. And the final one, Cormac, Group 4, Bal, a team we've mentioned already, who are just up there with Kilmaine in terms of hot favourites for this championship. They have a tricky enough opener away to Ballina Stephenites, whereas Charlestown, Sarsfields and Knockmore should be a good old tussle as well in Charlestown. Bal, you'd have to say, should top that group.
You would expect Bal to top the group, and if they have any hopes of going all the way, they'd like to see themselves topping the group. Haven't seen them in the league and championship over the last few years. They were really annoyed with themselves last year, not getting out. Not even getting to the final, so they're certainly hell bent on coming out as junior. They've winning a minor A title for them last year. It was such a boost. I mean, we talk about young up and coming teams, but Bal are as good as any in the county, and you'd almost really like to see them coming out of junior because they are such a classy side. They have some really, really talented players, and the thing is, Lahardon kind of came off, the under the radar last year, came out of nowhere. Could a team do that this year?
Absolutely.
That's what junior football is like. You just don't know it. As you said, it took Ardnaree so long when they were probably the preeminent side in it. But look, it's going to be, it promises to be a very good championship.
Very good championship. Junior B and Junior C, we'll just quickly talk about it. We're just going to mention on the screen now, you'll see my pick for Junior B, Cormac's pick for Junior B, and also my pick for Junior C and Cormac's pick for Junior C. But overall, they promise to be two very competitive championships as well. And that's one thing that Mayo GA have done very well over the years, is the segregation of Mayo Junior A, B and C. It's made it all far more competitive, and great to give clubs a chance at winning silverware that may not necessarily have got it, like Kilmovee last season, like Moygown previously as well. Clubs like this to get silverware of serious recognition means a lot.
Yeah, and I suppose one club that we talked about earlier, and Ballycastle, they won a Junior B. They came up, they won Division 4, or came out of Division 4 as well last year, so it shows you the progression that is there.
Got 2 semi-finals in a row, yeah.
Exactly. Massive. So they've proved themselves in Junior A, and they'll be a side maybe that would like to do a Lahardon. But as you said, it is competitive, and everyone is in the right division, and as they build up, it really helps. And we talked about Kilmovee. It's the Junior C and B championships are very, very important for clubs, and it brings players on.
Very good. Here's our pick, Junior B and Junior C. That's it. Midwest Radio have all of the coverage the weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend. We'll chat to you soon.